friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today. In today's episode, we are talking about the twins that escaped a house of horror. And worse yet, it was their own mother and her boyfriend doing this to her. This is a very developing story as all of this came out and occurred Tuesday, October 19th, 2022, just yesterday. Actually, today's Thursday. So it started all on Tuesday. And so my days go by really fast. And so we're going to be diving into this whole story. And my friends, I want to remind you, and that's when I wear this sweatshirt. And so I want to take a second to share. Step up, speak out to end child abuse. People, it's hard to believe that no one knew this was going on with these kids. Let's go ahead and dive into the story, why don't we? So, two 16-year-old twins escaped from their abusive mother and her boyfriend, who handcuffed, bound, and forced them to drink their own urine at their $600,000 Texas house of horrors. The breakout was caught on Ring camera footage that saw the twins run from their Houston home Tuesday in an attempt to get someone to call the police. The boy wasn't wearing a shirt and both of the siblings were barefoot. The neighbor who eventually let the pair inside told KHOU. They're in Houston. This is the mother and the boyfriend. The kids told the police that their mother and her boyfriend had left them in a room and forced them to eat and drink their own waste, refusing to let them use the toilet. And that's where it's so sad. The woman who found them added they would only feed them a sandwich only if they were quiet the whole day. If they made any type of noise, they wouldn't be fed. How a mother could do this to her kids? I feel like my tears are out of frustration and anger and sadness. That is what the lady said who rescued the boys. And we're going to be getting into this story because it's a very sad story. Yes, I had to get my tears out before I even did this story. And the lady said they were so skinny and so frail, they just looked like they had been through a lot. They told me that their mom kept them locked in the laundry room, naked, zip tied from the ankles, and handcuffed from the wrist. And that's where it's so sad that these boys went through this. And when they were rescued, the lady gave them a blanket so that they can warm up, gave them some food because they said they were hungry when they were finally rescued because she opened the door for them. And Louisiana State Police soon tracked down their mother, 40-year-old Zaikiya Duncan, and her boyfriend, 27-year-old Jova Terrell, at a traffic stop in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Both are charged with first-degree injury to a child and will see their day in court in Houston. Now, according to Jeff McShann, he said that the twins has been hospitalized and are in the custody of Child Protective Services. And it is seen where all of these marks on the kids, at least 5 other siblings, 7-year-old Nicholas Menina, 10-year-old Zayden Menina, 12-year-old Jovian Menina, 12-year-old Javier Menina, and 14-year-old Gerard Menina, they were all rescued by police, one of whom was still with Duncan and Terrell, while the other 4 had been left with relatives throughout Louisiana. And this is a little bit, actually. So this is where I want to share something with you. I had to reset something and I forgot to bring it back up. And here is, I believe that's it there. This is the footage of them escaping
Home surveillance cameras show
their house of horrors. And it's extremely sad. You can see here the two 16-year-old twins in Texas were seen on video making a brave escape from imprisonment by their allegedly abusive mother and her boyfriend. And you can see them. They were going home to home. Different videos captured them. Different ring cameras captured them going through this. And Zaikiya Duncan, she has a history of prior child abuse allegations. Duncan's boyfriend, 27-year-old Jova Terrell, he was also arrested, and they're both currently behind bars. And so the woman that rescued the twins, she, of course, did not show her face. She did not share her name, but she is an angel in my eyes. The woman who eventually found the twins, who also wasn't identified, said she discovered them in appalling shape. They were so skinny and so frail. They just looked like they had been through a lot. They told me that their mother kept them locked in the laundry room, naked, zip tied from the ankles, and handcuffed from the wrist. And you can see what their wrist looks like from the handcuffs, because they found the twins, a boy and a girl, in terrible shape with marks on their wrists, pretty deep marks from the handcuffs. And this is according to a county spokesperson. And the two twins were bruised and malnourished in our eyes when police finally got to them. The kids showed the woman who found them that they had just broken free from being handcuffed by their mother. And you can see these are the handcuffs that were seen by the little girl and the little boy who were, again, rescued in this from this crazy ordeal. And they were seen going door to door through the neighborhood. And they were going through door to door for about 30 minutes to find someone to help them in the early morning hours on Tuesday, with several neighbors unsure what to make of the situation, telling the kids to keep moving. One man said, "I don't think so." Like, I'm gonna do my best not to judge anyone in this situation. I specifically can remember one time where someone knocked on the door of my daughter's mom's home in the back door. And she knocked on it. She was an adult. And I specifically remember this story actually brought that memory back up. I was a little hesitant to let her in. She was actually in a fight with her boyfriend across the street from our home. We didn't hear anything. We've never seen this lady before. We knew the boyfriend might have been like in a motorcycle gang or something along those lines, or had a history of something. But did we let her in? Yes, we let her in. We were taking the chance to see two twins, boy and a girl, one without a shirt, one with. I'm going to do my best not to pass any judgment, because when you're in that situation, my question though, if it was a white boy and a white twin girl, would that have been different? That is where it's like I don't have answers, but when I think what would I have done, knowing that I did that previously, I believe I would have opened that door. Like I believe I would have taken chances to at least. That would be hard to turn away. But again, I'm not in those people's shoes. A $600,000 home, I'm gonna say, is not a bad area. So I don't know what to think. Again, I'm gonna do my best. I'm not trying to pass judgment. I know. I feel like I would have opened my doors. I would. That's they were looking through their Ring cameras. They can see something doesn't seem right. But, this is a crazy world we live in. So, again, I'm not going to pass judgment. On with the show. And so, at the end of the day, we just the kids were just going from door to door asking for help. And you can see when they got here, they were just like, one person on the doorbell camera was asking the kids, "Do you need help?" With one of the kids answering, "Please help us. We just need somewhere to be right now." And the woman describes that who eventually found the twins, a single mother at home with her daughter, who also, of course, went unidentified, said she discovered them in appalling shape. Now, remind you, single mother with her daughter at home, she took a chance. To me, she's an angel. She rescued these kids as the temperature was getting cold, and one of these boys didn't even have a shirt on. They escaped from the handcuffs. They escaped from the handcuffs to escape this home. And so they were definitely discovered in appalling shape. This is the mom and the boyfriend. Duncan is currently listed as being in Baton Rouge prison on charges of being a fugitive. Terrell's whereabouts are not known, but they both have been charged with this crime. And as you can see through a lot of the photos, they show the disturbing bodily harm Duncan had allegedly subjected her children to. And the breakout, it was caught on camera through Ring camera footage that saw the twins, who have not been named, of course, run from their Houston home Monday in an attempt to get someone to call the police. And a voice can eventually be heard on one of the doorbell cameras asking the kids, "Do you need help?" with one of them answering, "Please help us." They were begging for help. And as soon as after this was happening and they called 911, police set off an Amber Alert for the twins' 5 other siblings, ages 7 to 14, who were found safe a day later in Louisiana. The twins said that while it was less than what they received, their 12-year-old twin brothers had also been abused. Only one child was with the couple when they were arrested. The other 4, as I mentioned earlier, were later found safe with relatives in Louisiana. All 7 children were placed in child protective custody, according to authorities. And police said that they may even have another child, an 18-year-old boy, still missing. And this is according to NBC News. And, we wait to see what happens, but the home on Marina Alto Lane had sold in late July and was valued between $552,000, and police did not have any background information on Duncan or Terrell and didn't know whether they'd bought or leased the house. And you can see this is the inside of the home while it was up for sale. The 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath home includes a formal living and dining room, covered patio, 2-car garage, attached garage, and access to a community pool. So my guess is if they're there legally, there will be some more information coming out. If they're not there legally, there will be some more information. The family had recently been moved to Texas, and the twins were not even sure of their address. No one has been able to find out exactly how long they have been living there, though parents told ABC 13 their children had been going to school with some of the kids in the house for the past 2 weeks. And police did not have any background information on Duncan or Terrell, and didn't know whether they'd bought or leased the house. But the children's mother has a history of child abuse. According to court documents, Duncan had one of her children hospitalized after burns were found on his feet and genitals from hot water. When police arrived at the family home in Louisiana, they found a baby wrapped in clothing with his hands bound. Duncan admitted to regularly forcing at least one of her children to stay in a push up position for an hour, causing their hands to swell. She also made the child sleep on the floor of a closet. She was charged at that time with child cruelty, but eventually had her children returned to her, only to have this heinous stuff continue. My friends, this is what I mean about step up, speak out to end child abuse. It is said by some of the neighbors that they just moved into this house 2 weeks before. And so they were not even in the neighborhood for a long time. We don't know the whole story. This is just coming out. There's most likely going to be more charges. When you think about a story like this, you think about the Turpin family, the girl who escaped her house of horrors only to get to literally the phone she had in secret, she called 911 with, and she barely knew how to do that. And so here we have it again. My friends, this is going on. And if we don't speak up or speak out, sometimes we probably feel like we don't want to get involved. There is parenting, there's abusiveness. Parenting, you're always a leader, you're always setting the examples. This is sick. The abuse that these kids had, the visible signs of abuse that these kids had. Please, 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 if you are a person of prayer, pray for these kids that they will find their peace of mind. They're going to be on a long road to recovery. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today. Hey, truth is, at the end of the day, my whole focus is to keep you updated on what could go wrong in this crazy world we live in. And as we know, we do live in a crazy world. But the question is, how bad should it get before people start speaking up? We need to speak up. We need to speak up, especially in a situation like this, where if anyone knew that these kids were going through this and they didn't speak up, and wow. Hopefully, if this wasn't well known, but my encouragement to you is just tell somebody. These kids, just tell somebody. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to serving you again. And if this is the type of content that you do like to follow, please hit on that subscribe button. Click on that like if you got some value out of this, and click on that notification bell. That way you get notified whenever I do go live or I upload a video. Thank you for joining me. I'm here to serve those victims. I'm here to serve you, my friends. Have a great day.